Hello there. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
hello.
How
How are
are
you?
you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Lorena?
Good too. Nice to meet you once again. Here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, nice to say hi to everybody here who is connected today, and also nice to say hi to everybody who will be seeing this afterwards because this will remain in the LinkedIn network as well as on other networks as well. So,
Yes. And on
welcome
our YouTube
everybody.
channels as well, if you want to see us.
Yes. All right,
Okay.
all right. So we are on this first live in English to
Yes.
welcome everybody to this group, right?
Yes, exactly. So this group is yeah, we're setting ourselves up for success. So step up the career hub. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to network, but we'll talk about this later. Let's do a quick introduction if that's okay with you, Jessica.
Yeah.
So tell everyone who you are and what we're doing here.
Perfect. Okay, so my name is Jessica Rojas Liscano. For those of you who do not know me yet, I'm a career coach. Actually, I like to call myself International Reinvention Coach because in the past few years, that's what I've been doing. I've been helping people transform their careers, whether that means to change radically what they were doing before or to evolve into something that maybe they weren't expecting to. And helping people also going through changes like expatriations or even massive layoff, for instance, that can be complicated to go through, and that necessarily means that they are transforming lives as well, because when we're going through a process of professional change, necessarily we're changing a part of our life, and that means that we're going through a transformation. So that's what I do. Before becoming a coach, I used to work as a consultant, management consultant. So most of my experience was necessarily working through transitions, only that it was more from the corporate perspective, like working within a company, helping them going through whether it was a change of a system or change of management. So I think since I started my professional life, I've always been involved in transformation. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit of my background.
Nice. Thank
What
you for
about
sharing.
you? Mhm.
Well, um, I like to call myself a career mentor, not a coach, because I don't have the studies behind me, but I've helped many, many people um, grow, personal development, professional development, help them find a job. So basically, I'm leading New Talent Center for
Mhm.
already 3 years and a half. I think I need to start adding the half, almost four, because I think time is flying.
Yeah.
But about 3 years and a half. My background is quite different to what I'm doing right now. So if I think about it, it has to do with hospitality, initially 10 years, and then 10 years within the technological space. There's where I did most of my coaching and team development and team growth and personal development. So this new role in my life came a little bit by chance because I started helping my network within pandemia to find a job and to reinvent themselves. So this is, I think, the link we have, you and me, by reinvention. So this is a little bit about me.
Mhm.
Uh, 10 years of helping people find a job now, like 3 years of finding a job. Also, anything that has to do with growth, right? We can talk
Mhm.
about reinvention. In that case, you will do the whole reinvention part. But for me, it's about, okay, how does this profile match the current context? Because the context is changing. People think they cannot find a job. But at the end of the day, the skill sets is there. The
Yeah.
only thing is that there is a miscommunication between the market and what the people are looking for. And it happened to me. I did 10 years in one company and another 10 years in another company. But right now, people change jobs much more often.
Oh
Which,
God, yeah, very
yeah,
quickly.
I'm a dinosaur in both of them. And I would not recommend anybody to stay 10 years. But well, all
Yeah.
those that had that concept before are finding difficulties right now to find a job because the market has changed so much in the past 10 years, even in the 5 years, but let's say 10 years, that if you have a long career within a company and you want to change, you want to move, you want to do something different, well, I'll help you through that process and find those common points. So that's a little bit about
Yeah.
me and a little bit
I would
about
like
me.
to react to what you were doing, because what you were saying before, because the thing is that maybe for new generations is easier because they have been through the process of seeing how
Yeah.
the world is changing, how the economical models are changing and everything. But there is still a part of us, I think it's a collective intelligence, that remains resistant And
Yes.
we have the skill sets, as you said before, we have the skill set, we have the values, we have everything, we have tons of things to offer, but maybe we have a lot of limiting beliefs. And that's why these, both of these things are important. So having the strategy,
Yeah.
knowing how to get things done, what to prepare, what to do, what to say, which is your area of expertise,
Yes.
together with mindset, posture, changing limiting beliefs, and working towards a new mindset, which is my expertise. They
Mhm.
become the, that's what we create together. And that's
Yes.
exactly what we want to promote here as well in this group. And in this community, actually, because what we're building here is a community of empowered professionals, people who want to go beyond where they are, where
Yes.
you are, for those of you who are listening right now. So it's about finding a new job, yes, but it's about finding new opportunities in general. So that
Yes.
requires both things.
I totally agree. I think you couldn't explain it better. This is how the whole story started, right? At the end of the day, because we want
Yeah,
to build a community where people are comfortable to learn, to network, to meet other people and find those opportunities. Because sometimes it's about creating the opportunities, not only waiting for the opportunity to come and knock at your door, but it's also how do you create that or how do you find it? Um,
exactly.
and that's a proactive approach. So this community, it's going to be an active community. We're going to be constantly here present and sharing and bringing knowledge and connecting people, because that's a little bit what we want. There are many other communities within LinkedIn that you will find that very likely are a little bit more passive, right? So each one does their own stuff, but here we are looking to connect people and opportunities. So it's going to be
Yeah.
an active community. So yeah, we're encouraging professionals to join. If you have questions, or if anybody is on the other side right now and you want to ask something specific, please go ahead. We will read the comments and then share them with the rest of the community. Oh, here we've got Sonia. How can we be sure the community will be with people that are compatible? It's a great question. You want to get that one?
Sonia, yes. Okay, so how can we ensure the community will be with people that are compatible? Well, Sonia, to be honest, we are opening up this, we're just creating this community. And I think from the moment we had this idea, we wanted to connect with people who are like-minded. So that's the very basic thing. It's like we all want to grow. We all want to find the next opportunity. We all want to transform ourselves in the process. I think necessarily the people that will be in this community will be ambitious people, like by default, or at least people who necessarily believe in the process of self-awareness and self-growth. Okay, so I think that already makes us all compatible in nature. Now, we could also think about other aspects, like, is it about sectors, industries? Is it about job positions? So I think what is important here maybe is about what are we looking for, or how do we frame compatible? So, and I think at the end, what we're looking for is to connect with several professions with different backgrounds. And among all these people who will be joining this community, there will be people who we connect more, people we connect a little bit less, people we can talk directly and ask questions because we have an interest in common that is obvious. And we will always also be exposed to meet people who maybe I didn't think this person was compatible. And surprisingly, I met somebody who helped me find something new and explore something new about myself. And there's also another aspect of compatibility. So I hope that answers your question. If you want to add something else, Lorena?
Yeah, I would like to add just one thing. I think the base of this group will be, or this community, is to network. And you are a coach of reinvention, and I have reinvented my career, and you have also reinvented your career. And we wouldn't have been able to do this all by ourselves. It's also by the opportunities that came, the opportunities that we saw. When I started in my technological role, I did not know that I could do that role because I didn't even know it existed. But my background was perfect for what they were looking for. And then it's how I started it. So it's about understanding also, like, which are the opportunities. And the only way to get to know those opportunities is to expose yourself to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit the nature of why we say learn. That's why we ask questions. This is a place where you can get your questions answered. And if we do not know the answer, we will find the answer. That's a little bit our commitment as well. Sonia has answered here in a professional way in order to create opportunities. Definitely. So you're more than
Exactly.
invited to join
Exactly.
us, Sonia, if you're not joining us yet in the Step Up the Career Growth Hub. I haven't created the banners this time. I'm sorry. I will
It's
put
okay.
them
We can
there.
share the link later.
Yes.
Yeah. It's fine.
So yeah, this
Thank
is a
you,
little bit,
Sonia, for that question. That's
yeah,
good. All right.
very, very impressive. So maybe you want to talk a little bit more about the group, Jessica. Otherwise, we can just talk about networking.
Okay, so Step Up is, as you were mentioning before, is a group, is an initiative that actually started with a lot of our conversations. Lorena and I, we've been sharing a lot about our expertise, and we've been collaborating already. So you've been helping me a lot also with some of my clients. And when every time since I started to do coaching and mentoring, I always thought that this is a path, the path of transformation and evolving in your career is something that you don't do it alone. And you can have the help of a coach or a mentor, and that is extremely valuable. But there is also the help that we can get from people who are going through a situation that is similar, or people who have been through this situation before, and they can inspire you because you can see how things can happen for you as well. And that's the whole idea of creating Step Up. Step Up is about helping each other to boost our career, whatever that means to each one of us.
Mhm.
And it's a community. It's not just a LinkedIn group. At least that's the intention that we have. It's not just yeah, join the group and you will see the posting. No, it's about interaction. It's about Lorena is going to be organizing her live sessions with experts, and she will bring that to the group. I will organize also some things on my end that we both consider are important topics, whether they are from the most pragmatic point of view, which is about maybe how to work on your LinkedIn profile or how to improve your CV, but also how about managing stress at work, or creating a better integration of all the parts in your life, which integrates your professional life and your personal life, for instance. All of the things are important, and that's what we want to create in this community. Step Up, it's an opportunity to connect, yes, but it's, I think for me, it's an opportunity to grow together, because together we go obviously farther as
Yeah.
well.
I totally agree. I think one of the questions that I generally ask you in an interview is, what does growth mean to you? And that question generally comes because growth for each and every one has a different meaning.
Yeah.
And we try to, let's say, put within the umbrella of growth different aspects that we believe will build into it in a very large way. But at the end of the day, each one takes what they want. Some might think growth is learning something new. Some might think it's a change in a role. Others might think it's just about enlarging the network and being more powerful because you have access to more people.
Mm.
So each one that joins our community, and I'd like to call it community more than group at the end, even if LinkedIn
Yeah.
only gives us the opportunity to create it as a group. In this community, the idea is to be near you and follow and keep you company in this process. I'm just going to talk from the perspective of changing a job, for example. When we change a job, it's a job on itself, and we're not always taught to do that job. And sometimes we're not alone. Or sometimes no, we're always alone, basically, because our friends, family are not in the same situation as us. Even if it's our comfort zone, our friends and
Mm.
family, where we can talk without any kind of limitations, they're not living what we are living. They don't have our same career. They're not in the same moment in their professional life. So they are totally alone. And having a coach or a mentor keeping you company through this process really helps you to have a third party to support you, and that understands 100% of what's going on. So I think that's key as well. And well, that's why we are behind this, because at the end of the day, we want to be with these people that
Mhm.
will grow. So yeah, I just don't want to add anything further. If there's anything that
Yeah.
anybody wants any clarification or anything, happy to read through them.
And
Um,
also, just as a reminder, for those of you who are watching this later, you can also leave your comments. It's fine. We read. We will be obviously checking everything that happens in the group. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them on the group or just below, and we will reach out to you.
So just as an example of networking and how this group can came together, at the end of the day, you and me do not know ourselves face to face. We met
That's
thanks to
true.
networking. And you
Exactly.
are with both Latins living in Europe.
Yeah.
So, but not from the same country. So we don't even have the same country. We only have the same language, base language, that is Spanish
Mm.
perhaps and English. Um, but yeah, basically you're from Venezuela, I'm from Argentina. Two difficult countries right now, if I
Yeah.
think about it, back in Latin America. And
Yeah.
then we're living here, you in Spain and me in the Netherlands, which means that also, yeah,
This
life
is
takes
what
you
happens
to
with you
connect
tonight.
you. Yes, life
Yeah,
takes you to
definitely.
connect and find people with same interests or that can support and collaborate uh,
Hmm.
without realizing where you can find them.
And that's actually how the opportunities emerge as well. It's
Yes.
like now we're living in a time that is amazing in that sense that we really don't have any boundaries anymore,
No.
and we can. I think today we can live the fullest, the whole expression of everything is possible, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's also part of
Definitely.
what we want to encourage in this group. Yeah,
Definitely. Okay.
I have to stop calling it group in this community. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get used. Just for you to know, this community is going to speak English and Spanish. We're going
Yeah.
to be posting both in both languages. We're going to keep kind of similar information going around, not absolutely the same translation or exactly the same topic in English or in Spanish, but we will make sure that everybody in the community can understand what we're talking about. So if there's a live session that will not have another repeat in another language, in the other
Exactly.
language, we will make a post and we will give you the key points or the key elements the other way around, exactly the same. So feel free to also practice your English if you're not an English speaker, and if not,
Or
practice your
practice your
Spanish.
Spanish.
Why not? So looking forward to having, yes, questions. I think the way that we learn is by answering your questions, by understanding what's going on in the outside world. That's the way that I at least keep myself updated to be able to help others, right? So
Yeah.
this is a key element for us to keep learning. So I don't know, should we talk about networking and just give them a
Oh
piece of
yeah.
advice?
Yeah, actually, last week when we presented this community in Spanish, we talk a lot about what networking is and the benefits. And today we wanted to share something different. We wanted to share how networking has changed our lives, our professional lives, or at least it had created a big impact on our professional lives. So I have a question for you, Lorena.
Okay.
How has networking impacted your life?
Okay, it's a good question. I think you briefly triggered my mind before this conversation, otherwise I would have had to think through it again. But I would like to share with everybody here an example of networking that does not necessarily have to be external networking. This is
Mhm.
internal networking. And everybody says networking and I have to talk to strangers. Well, perhaps not so strangers. At the end of the day, if you're in the same company, you have common ground to start that conversation.
Mm.
And within my last, let's say, formal um, position within Booking, I worked for Booking for 10 years, 12 years. And I started my career within Buenos Aires, but I had the chance to start traveling around the world and to join meetings, to open offices, to learn, to go through courses, and so on. And every time I I traveled, I had the opportunity to network, right? So I met new people, I met new managers, people that held my same position in other offices,
Mm.
and I started really, really at the bottom of the whole thing, and we all went growing at the same time, and everybody went into different directions, right? Some kept the same direction or the common or the logic role path, career path, but then you had others that changed. And by when I left, I realized that my network had also grown, some
Mm.
within the same organization, and helped me grow up as well, or some even out. And then you have opportunities that come from outside. Hey, do you want to join this company? Do you want to join this opportunity? Hey, I know you from here and I know how you've been working. Do you want to join us in here or there? So I do think it's a real good opportunity to start networking within your own company. And you also need to think about networking as a long-term objective. It's a long-term goal. It's not going to be an immediate payoff. It could
Mhm.
be, but people that start networking and expect a result within 3 to 6 months, I would say it's unrealistic. You need to start networking, and the network grows and moves, and it goes into different directions. Um, so here I am today, thanks to my network, right? Because
Yeah,
they were from the
definitely.
hospitality and the technology industry without jobs, and I was helping them find a job. So
Exactly.
that's how you see the opportunities and the network coming together. So that's a little bit the story. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
There's something that I really like about this connection because what you are seeing
Yeah.
is a live. What everybody's seeing here is a live session that has some structure. But what people don't know is that we really don't prepare anything.
No.
We just talk about what we want to show, and then everything that happens here is really spontaneous. So it's super interesting every time I hear one of your stories,
Yeah.
because it's also a surprise for me. So it's a way to get to know you as well. It's
Oh,
super
thank
super
you.
nice.
Well, now I want to
And
learn about your networking story.
yeah, I will tell my story. In my case, I will tell a story about a networking that I did that really changed my whole career. This one was external though, and the reason I want to mention this is not only because it was like I have many stories, but this one really changed everything. It made a completely a shift in my career, and it was also very difficult. So that's why I want to share it. When I started to do coaching, I was living in France and I didn't know how to do networking. I didn't know all the things that we're going to be sharing in this community. And people kept telling me, you have to contact people on LinkedIn. You have to figure it out. You're starting your coaching career. You don't know how to start. So contact all the people, contact all the coaches who are already in the business so that you know how it gets done. And for me, I wasn't so used to contact. Actually, I wasn't used at all to contacting people that I didn't know. For me, it was just like you mentioned, these are strangers, so I cannot contact strangers. This is so awkward. At some point, I said, you know what? Go ahead. If you don't dare to leave your comfort zone, you will never find out. You will never know. And I find out that it was easier than I thought, in the sense that it was natural. It was a natural thing just to simply contact people. What was difficult was leaving the comfort zone. But once you move to the other side, you see how we can simply naturally connect with other people. So at that time, I connected with three ladies. I sent like 17 or 20 messages, and not most people didn't reply, but three people did reply. Three amazing ladies who said, yes, I can have a coffee with you. That was before the pandemic, so people used to have coffees.
Oh, that
now
was
it's
good.
mostly now
Now
it's
you have a
mostly video.
video call, right? Now you have
Yeah,
to send
exactly.
it.
And these these people say, yes, let's have a coffee. So the first two, they were amazing coaches in the business. They shared everything they knew with me. Obviously, I prepared, and we're going to be sharing with you how to prepare for a networking interview, how to prepare your questions and everything. So we will leave that for later. But I prepared what I think it was important back then. Okay, I didn't know all the principles, but I think it was mostly spontaneous and logical. And it was a great experience because I got to know the market. But the third lady, she had been on the business for 20 years, if I remember correctly. So 20 years doing coaching, that was a long time. So I was only beginning my career. She had been there for a long time. And I never actually expected that she would reply to begin with. She was one of the people who replied and said, yes, let's have a coffee. I only have half an hour, but let's have a coffee. Perfect timing, it's fine. And I have a conversation with her. I had prepared my questions. I also had prepared my pitch, my presentation, which is also we will cover later in this community. And we connected so nicely. And at the end of that conversation, she told me something that I will never forget. She said, Jessica, would you like to start your coaching career in a business school? And I was like, what? Yeah, you know what? It happens that I have this client, but I need to leave because I have engaged in a new contract that is happening outside of France. I have to leave for the next 2 years, and I really don't want to let go of this client. So what about we make an arrangement so you start your coaching career with this client? And it was like, okay, this is a great opportunity. It's a win-win situation. So I could start my career and she could keep her client, at least for the time being. And that happened because I dared to do. networking.
You had an opportunity without knowing you had that opportunity.
I had no idea. And that's, you can call it strategy. To be honest, I don't think it was that strategic at all. I think it was synergy. This is what happens when you are open to connect with other people. The rest, yes, if you prepare, if you have your pitch, and if you come with the right questions, obviously things get better and it gets easier. Okay, because part of the things that I have a lot of people telling me like, yeah, but I wouldn't know what to say, I wouldn't know what to offer. All those things, first we can prepare them.
Yes,
that's easy to prepare. What is hard is the daring part, is the I'm going for it. And that is
right.
exactly why I think it was a difficult networking, because it was the beginning of my career, but it was life-changing. So I started my coaching career thanks to this conversation and thanks to daring to do networking.
Well, I'd like to add what I see from this. I didn't know about this story, so thank you for sharing. I think, yeah, people need to know that we just threw the topic. Like, we're going to talk about a story, you external, me internal. That's it. Goodbye. The rest is good luck.
Yeah.
I think if you put in practice, and I think I'm just going to put myself in the feet of the lady that was the other coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you showed something that is one of the most required skills that is right now in the market, and it's so needed, and it's proactivity. It's the capability to dare about something. It's to put yourself forward, and that's something that is lacking quite a lot. So the fact that you came forward and you asked for it, I think that must have been the first trigger in her mind to say, okay, I want someone that takes my place, that can go for something. So I think you showed one of those skills, even if it has to do with the conversation, the content, and there were many other things behind it. The attitude and the proactivity and the behavior of proactiveness is one of the most required skills.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. So thank you for putting that up. So now you see you have two examples of internal networking and external networking, if we can call it like that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to share these stories because, again, networking is not just about a strategy. It's about something that we naturally do as human beings. We connect. It's just that we forget. When we put it in the professional context, it's like, okay, it's so hard. Networking is so important, but it's so hard. Not really. It is hard here in your mind, because this how we start.
Make friends when you go out, right?
Yeah.
Some remain, some don't. You meet people. It's exactly the same in the
It's
the
exactly
professional
the
context.
same. So at the end, it's all in your mind. The barriers that we set up in this context are only exist in our mind, because connecting with people is something that we do naturally as human beings. So it's just putting it in another setting. That's it.
Yeah, sometimes it's scary because it's our professional that we're putting at the, let's say, up front. But I think we all need to be here. So that's the reason why we've created Step Up, right? So we're calling it the Career Growth Hub as a community to initially start networking, but at the end of the day, for you to find opportunities to learn, to ask questions, and to get those answers. We can answer, but also people that are known. We will invite to this community different profiles. We're going to invite profiles that are related to coaching, other ones to mentoring, HR people that want to learn. So it's not going to be only an HR community. It's going to be a community here for everybody that wants to learn. And we will bring in different professionals to answer questions. And we will also have these conversations. We cannot host the live sessions exclusively from the group of in our community, but we will host it from our own profile, and then we will repost it here. We will invite you. So make sure you follow Jessica, make sure you follow me, make sure you follow Step Up. We will invite you if you've been part of this conversation, but please also share it with your network. This is a good way to start networking.
And also, just so you know, it's important that you can be proactive here as well, because Lorena and I, we have tons of ideas, and we want to invite a lot of people who will share their expertise, but you can also ask. You could also tell us, you know what, I would like to know more about entrepreneurship, or I would like to know more about management, or I'm a new manager, I'm going through this situation. Let's talk about it.
I want to become a consultant. How do I do? We can help you.
I want to become a freelancer now. I've been working in this company for years. This is another way. Whenever we think about finding a job, it's not just looking making an application to find another job. There are many ways to work. and especially these days where everything is changing, and things will change even more next year with the new technologies and how the markets keep changing. And it's not a scary thing, it's the opposite. There's tons of opportunities that allows us to work differently, and that necessarily will raise questions and doubts. Please bring everything here, because this is exactly the space to bring those questions, to bring those doubts, and even ideas that maybe you just want to go more in detail about them.
Yeah, I agree. And just to add one thing, that it's also important for everybody to know, not you, Jessica, the rest. It's that the market is changing so fast that the opportunities are not the same for each and every one. Before, you would have an administrative job, and that job would have an X amount of requirements, and those requirements would be the same across all the industries, across all the profiles. Today, in each industry, there are different requirements. In each position, there are different requirements. Positions are changing their name because the companies do not know what name to name them. But at the end of the day, it's a set of skills that they're requiring. And how do you read that? And how do you find that? And which are the skills that you want to keep using, right? If you've used your X amount of skills, and you just don't want to keep doing it because you're tired of it, and you have other skills and you want to put them forward, how do you put them forward? Where do you put them forward? And that's an opportunity as well. So yeah, I
to
think
upskill and reskill. So I think there is a good keyword for you to write down from right now is transferable skills.
yes,
You will be using these everywhere, every time. So transferable skills, very valuable, and maybe we can make a full live about them
yes,
at some point. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and we can also share some tests for them to do and learn and discover themselves.
Perfect.
So many ideas we have. So please help us filter our ideas out a little bit.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we're reaching the end of this live, it seems.
Yes, I think so too. I
Okay.
think we are. We'll see you very soon, but keep us posted with your questions, with your doubts. Add people, invite people to join us.
Invite people. Yeah, exactly. We're going to have our first live session next week in
Yes.
Spanish, right?
Yes,
Well,
we
the
will
first thematic one. This is the second one that it was the introduction, but we are going to start with topics and specific subjects from next week, right?
Yes, definitely.
So
So
keep
stay
it posted.
tuned, and we will talk soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining,
Thank you very
everyone.
much. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.